Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Apple's brand new third generation of the AirPods Pro, but specifically focusing on the ear tips. Back in 2019, I made a video about the original AirPods Pro and a DIY method for how to convert the silicone ear tips to memory foam, and users found that this improved the fit and noise cancellation, and eventually third-party manufacturers started making memory foam ear tips that simply clicked into place. And I've made over a dozen videos reviewing different options and ranking them based on different abilities. In 2022, Apple released the second generation AirPods Pro, and I immediately bought them to check compatibility with all the past ear tips I've tested, and I was happy to report that the first and second generation use the exact same mechanism, so all of the ear tips remain compatible. And here we are in 2025, and Apple has now released the third generation of the AirPods Pro, and despite my other two pairs working just fine, I decided to buy the third generation just to test this out again. Full disclosure, I paid for these new AirPods with my own funds, and nobody is sponsoring this video. Now, I'm not going to go over all the features and changes, as there are tons of other videos that cover that. My goal here is to specifically review the ear tips. The first difference here is that in addition to the medium-sized ear tips that come pre-installed, you now get 4 other sizes for a total of 5. With the second generation, you only got a total of 4 ear tips, and with the first generation, you only got a total of 3. Apple has been adding smaller sizes, likely for people that found the larger sizes too tight and causing them to pop out of their ears. Comparing the large size from the third generation to the second generation, they appear identical with only a slight change in shape. If you want to get technical, I measured the dimensions and I'll put them here on the screen. The biggest difference here is that the mechanism is smaller in length and width, but is much taller in depth. Because of this, there's sadly no way for the older ear tips to work with the new AirPods. Now, Apple claims they have improved the fit, and they now use, quote, foam-infused ear tips for greater passive noise isolation, unquote. So are third-party ear tips even needed anymore? Well, I've used the new AirPods for a few days now, and I've had mixed results. At the gym, I was previously using my first-gen AirPods Pro with the Comply memory foam ear tips, and now switching to the third-gen AirPods with the included ear tips, I noticed a surprising amount of additional noise reduction. There was less noise from people grunting and banging weights on the floor, and I didn't need to increase the volume as loud. However, the next day at work, I was in a data center with very loud fan noise, and I used to use my second generation AirPods Pro also with the Comply memory foam ear tips to block out this noise. But when I tried the third gen AirPods Pro with the default tips in this environment, it sounded like the same amount of noise cancellation. Apple claims the third gen has 4 times the noise cancellation performance compared to the first gen, and 2 times compared to the second gen. Now, it's important to know the differences between active and passive noise cancellation. Active noise cancellation uses microphones to pick up the noise, invert the sound wave, and play it back into your ears to cancel it out, whereas passive relies on the physical characteristics like the seal in your ear to block out noise. With that in mind, I think the third gen does have stronger active noise cancellation, but not as much passive noise cancellation when compared to the memory foam ear tips. The whole foam-infused thing seems kinda gimmicky. They're definitely better than the silicone ear tips that came with the first and second gen, but I wouldn't consider them foam-infused. It just feels like a slightly thicker silicone material to me. They do seal well, but there is much less mass compared to an actual memory foam. So do you need third-party ear tips anymore? Well, the need for them is definitely reduced. If you're coming from the first generation AirPods Pro, you'll definitely notice an improvement. If you're coming from the second generation AirPods Pro, the difference won't be as noticeable in my opinion. I'm excited to see which manufacturers will develop updated ear tips for the third generation AirPods Pro. I checked with all the manufacturers I've reviewed in the past, and I found that Comply and ChargeN Pro are already developing new ear tips and have pre-orders available on their websites, whereas SpinFit and Foamasters currently do not have any mentions on their website, so I emailed them both. Foamasters said they are working on a new set in development, while SpinFit said they didn't have anything and they had no timeline to share. I personally have been a big fan of Comply's memory foam ear tips, so I'm excited to give them a try once they become available to see if they can add even more improvement to Apple's latest third generation AirPods Pro. So that's it for today. I hope you found this video useful. As always, if you need anything from Amazon, you can use my affiliated Amazon links in the video description. Your price stays the same, but a small commission may come back to me, which helps support the time and effort it takes me to buy these products and make these videos. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And with that, I thank you for watching and have a great day.